Hey guys, F1 26 here, and welcome back to Highlights of the F1 League. So we're here today then for round number 14 of Season 5 for the Singapore Grand Prix. And my pace was actually looking pretty good. As you can see, we're currently sitting on pole as we head down towards turn 1, as we've run a bit wide there. Not ideal, but we'll carry on. Our sector 1 on our last lap was pretty terrible. So hopefully we can improve on that, especially to this corner. We lost a lot of time on our last lap, and as you can see, our delta reflects that as we are in the green, heading down towards the sector 1 split. So yeah, after absolutely bottling it last time out in Italy, we're somehow managing to maintain the championship lead due to my teammates being EA'd by the game. My teammates, my championship rivals, being absolutely robbed, as in Luke getting a drive-through from his AI driving the car, and Azar being disqualified, or now their amazement. So yeah, we somehow managed to extend our championship lead to 8 points, I believe. Something like that. So we'll be looking to build on that even more today, as you can see now on our qualifying lap, heading through the Anderson Bridge, round that hairpin, and it's looking pretty good so far. I was hoping for a 40.0 maybe, although I hadn't managed to get below a 40.1 yet. But this lap's looking good. Maybe losing a bit of traction on the exit there as we run over the dusty part of the track. Codemasters probably don't implement that in the game, but you never know. You absolutely nailed that corner now as we head down under the grandstands here towards the final few corners of the track. Coming into this corner, we've absolutely bottled it, and we've tried to take way too much speed through there. We're going to lose at least a tenth there as we head towards the final corner now, or final two corners technically, round turn 23 and across the line for a 1 minute 40.152, and that has indeed put us on pole ahead of their amazement by not much actually. He put in a banging lap as well at the end. Luke was struggling quite a lot after having played the F1 2017 beta, so he's down in third. Taylor had a grid penalty, so he'll drop to ninth. Jork moves up to fourth, and Sam, my teammate, who's back for this after 2 weeks on holiday, will move up to fifth. So yeah, we are quite far behind in the Constructors' Championship, but if we can have some solid races, maybe we can catch up and win that at the end of the season, although I very much doubt it. Anyway, moving on towards the race, and the game is giving us some absolutely trash strategy, so we're going to sort that out immediately. Going straight for the one stop because the softs last about 700 laps and taking a lot of fuel out of the car. Although, to be fair, we probably could have taken a lot more, as you really do not need fuel around this track. It's almost as bad as Monaco in terms of fuel needed. So yeah, hopefully we can now head towards the race and the formation lap, which I'll be leading for the third time this season. I believe this is my third pole after Canada and Britain. So hopefully this can go the way of Canada and not Britain, and we can come away with the win. But probably not, let's be honest. Anyway, pulling away nicely for the formation lap. Nothing to see this week. People actually took it reasonably quickly, as yeah, Joe, that's not the track, mate. But anyway, skipping towards the end of the lap now, and we're going to try and back it up, but the pit lane's too close, so we're unable to back it up, and we will be heading towards the grid right about now. And I don't think anyone got kicked off this week, so that is a first. And indeed, yes, the grid is empty, so all 12 drivers have survived the formation lap, and that might be the first time this game that we've had everyone survive the formation lap. But anyway, moving on to the start of the race now. We have 2 lights. Now we have 3, there's 4 lights, and there's 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. Lexbox 1's got a lag start, and he's up into the lead. Jork has been disqualified because this game is crap. And will we see a safety car like last week, as Lexbox is now in the lead due to his lag start? And yeah, of course we do. Safety car has been deployed here, and unbelievable bad luck for Jork there. Although there was actually lag, because on Lexbox's screen, I've seen his POV, Lexbox did not touch Jork, so this game just showing how amazing it is once again. But as you can see on our delta in the top right, even we've got 1 second into the green, so Lexbox might have a different delta due to having a lag start. So I'm going to see if I can go past him here, and yep, I can go past him, and that's us up into the lead. So that's interesting. But obviously, he should be ahead, so we'll let him back through there. But obviously this game loves me apparently, and I'm able to pass him again, and no one else behind can. So I quickly decided this was unfair and that Lexbox needed to be in the lead. So as we skip ahead to the next lap, we've caught up with the safety car, but we're not going to have any of this. We're going to let Lexbox through here. But to allow Lexbox through, you have to run off the track. So at this point, I'd agreed with Joe that I'd run off the track to let Lexbox through, and he'd not overtake me. So hopefully we can orchestrate this at this corner. So we're just going to run very wide here, let him up the inside, off the track, and there we go. He should have the position there. And yeah, we've got an illegal on Xbox One, so there you go. We sorted that out. That was very messy if he wants to continue. So yeah, that was interesting. But now Xbox is back in the lead where he should be. I'm in second, Joe is in third, and Luke is in fourth, and I'm not sure what's going on further back from that. Anyway, safety car is now coming in at the end of lap 4, but Luke is unfortunately disconnected from the session because he has some issues with an external hard drive or something. And apparently we found out a glitch that when the host leaves the session under the safety car, we get constant yellow flags. So obviously this means you can't overtake, and if you do overtake, you're going to get an illegal overtake. So it's quickly decided that we were going to have to restart the race because of this. Obviously nothing Luke could do, he just disconnected from the game. It's just a shame that this game is so broken that if the host leaves under the safety car, or I think even virtual safety car, you're going to get constant yellow flags. So yeah, skipping on to Sector 2 now, just to confirm that this is a thing. We're going to go up the inside of Xbox One here. Purple to the middle sector. He's hit us there, but yeah, we've got the illegal overtake, so we're going to let him back through. And yeah, at this point, the restart had been announced in the chat, so yeah, we're gonna cause some carnage. And Lexbox is our first victim here, so we're going to be absolutely wiping him out any second now. Why is this in League Race Highlights? This belongs in my Last Man Standing challenge from a couple of years ago. But yeah, Lexbox One is my target, cutting across the corner, smashing him out. We're out the race as well. That's not the point. Mission accomplished there. And yeah, that was interesting. Meanwhile, my teammates decided that he wants to explore Narnia on the last corner. Taylor the Vol smashes into the wall, loses his front right, and CK goes through. Meanwhile, skipping a couple of corners later, still on board with CK, is now in the lead. Sam tries to dive up his inside to take him out. CK slams on the brakes and absolutely mugs my teammate off there. So that was pretty good. And yeah, and that's about it now, as we're just skipping through the people. Terran over in second, and Matt Lovett's managed to smash off all of his front tyres. That's pretty impressive, actually. So yeah. Unfortunately, the quality of the camera, because it's night time, my camera doesn't like to focus, and I've forgotten to focus it properly. The quality of the one-shot qualifying lap was utter shite, so we're not going to see that. But what you can see is that I have got pole again, and Luke's disconnected again, even though Daniel Ricciardo still managed to beat Jordan Gibbs, having driven half the lap. So yeah, I'm on pole once again, ahead of Joe the Amazement and Taylor the Vol, this time in third. Lexbox One in fourth, Sam in fifth, trying to invite Luke back to the game as quickly as possible, but sadly someone's pressed A. And that means we may be going into this race without Luke here, so that's not ideal. As you can see, qualifying results on screen, Casey and Jork going for the super softs, so that maybe suggests they'll be doing a different strategy, and hopefully I managed to sort out my camera quality. There we go. So now you can actually see the screen, so pause the stuff now, and I've sorted out the quality for the race. I think we were on clear weather for this one, because for obvious reasons the previous race was going to be dry, so let's keep this one dry. Once again putting on the one stop and taking fuel out of the car because we don't need any of that. And yeah, heading towards the start of this race now, and we have the lights. We have 2 lights, we have 3 lights, now we have 4, and it's 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go for attempt 2 of the Singapore Grand Prix. We've got a decent start ahead of Joe, and that should see us maintain the lead into turn 1, and indeed we do. And yeah, pretty good start for us then, and we maintained P1 here as we head out of turn number 3 down towards turn number 5. I think this is actually the corner numbers. There's a lot of them, 23 around this track. But Joe's actually got a poor exit, and I think Taylor will be having a look at him, and that's exactly what I want. And as you can see, skipping to the end of lap 1, Taylor's got ahead of Joe, and that means we have a massive lead here, over a second at the end of lap 1. Exactly what we wanted. Lap 2 now, and the gap has got even bigger as Taylor remains ahead of Joe, and I think the gap is actually up to 2 seconds now. So this is exactly what we wanted. And yeah, as you can see, nothing happened. Lap 10 now, it's pit stop time. And as you can see, we so almost sped into the pit lane. That was way too close for comfort. I'm not sure why I was taking those risks in the situation. But as you can see, Jordan Gibbs has retired from the session. At this point, I wanted a safety car right now whilst I was in the pits, because this would mean I would have no delta, and I could remain in, well, managed to close up to Casey and Jork, who had not pitted yet before they came into the pits, but no safety car as it seems. But no, now we have a safety car just 3 seconds or so too late as we've exited the pits. We've got out ahead of Lexbox 1, and at this point I was worrying a lot, because I think Casey and Jork will have enough of a gap with my delta to come out of the pit lane ahead of me. As you can see, the delta will go away when I cross the finish line, so at that point I can floor it. I've nailed it perfectly, and we can go. Where is Casey and Jork? We're going to pass him. There's Jork. We've managed to get the move done there. Yeah, you didn't see that. But yeah, it wasn't actually as close as I thought. I thought they would have easily had it, but no. I'm up into P1, and yeah, that's lovely then, I guess. So yeah, Jork and Casey have actually managed to use the safety cars to jump ahead of Joe and Taylor, so I'm sure they'll be fuming, but yeah. Here we go then, skipping to lap 14, the safety car is coming in, and I think we're going to have the same problem again. So yeah, we've managed to back up the pack there in a rather unconventional way, and we've got yellow flags again, and this is because Jordan Gibbs, who had been promoted to host after Luke disconnected, had left the session under the safety car. So we've got yellow flags again. However, this time we decided to carry on, as we didn't think it would affect the race, as there are no more pit stops to be had. And as it turned out anyway, if you did overtake someone, your illegal overtake did just disappear, so you wouldn't get the penalty for it. Anyway, it's coming to the end of the first lap, the gap is 7 tenths. Jork applying the pressure here, and on the second lap the gap is 4 tenths, but the pressure was not to be, and as we skip to lap 20, we've got a reasonable gap ahead of him. And unfortunately, my camera decided that it couldn't really be asked to record any other race and fell asleep, which is fair enough because it was absolutely boring as hell. But luckily, we've got a game DVR clip of the last lap, so here we go. Coming around the final few corners to win the Singapore Grand Prix and extend our championship lead up to 17 points ahead of their amazement here. It's been a flawless drive, and we come across the line to win the Singapore Grand Prix. So yeah, what a result there for the championship. No points for Luke, obviously through no fault of his own, and due to penalties, Joe ended up down in third. So Casey actually managed to nab second due to Jork running out of fuel and people having penalties. With Joe in third, Jork, sadly for him, dropped to fourth, with CK just holding on for fifth ahead of Sam in sixth, and Terra Nova, the last finisher, in seventh, getting his first points of the season, so well done to him. Results on screen now, and yeah, we managed to close the championship gap quite a lot due to Luke's disconnection. I think the gap's down to 16 points, so there is still an outside shot for myself and Sam heading into the last 6 races of the season. But yeah, that's been it for today, guys. Quite a short one this time round, and I'll see you next time for the Malaysian Grand Prix. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.